Good morning, or whatever time it is for you. Thank you for coming back to hear more of my story about Fred's Moab adventure. So on Thursday, we bicycled from our campground to Dead Horse Point, which is just outside of Canyonlands State Park. Is it a state park? I don't know what it is. But anyhow, so I guess it's in actuality part of Canyonlands, but anyhow, it's where we went in to view the Canyonlands. So Dead Horse Point. Don't you wonder, like, how do they come up with the names for these places? Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe the horse got to that point and died. I'm sorry. But you know, it was kind of, and I can understand it happening because from when we left the campground in the morning, we had to go 30 miles, and it was, Moose, get down, please. Moose, go. Thank you, sir. Go. So it was almost all uphill. I'm not exaggerating. It wasn't real steep like that, like going into the arches, but it was uphill, up. 30 miles, up. Little flatlands here and there, but mainly up. Oh, now, Sorsha just ran into the table, shook the whole camera. Anyhow, so, riding up there was very interesting because I kept seeing these signs that said cattle on the road, cattle on the road, cattle on the road, and I was like, I don't see any cattle. And then I made a turn to go into where Dead Horse is, Dead Horse Point, and there's cattle. There's cattle like everywhere, and there's no fences. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm riding along, and like 3 feet off the shoulder of the road, there's a mama and her 2 calves grazing away. And then I go a little further up, and here comes a cow comes walking across the road. So what I understand in talking to a friend who knows a whole lot more about cows and cattle ranching than I do, the ranches out there are so incredibly large, like who knows how many acres, very large, and so they can't fence them in, the pastures, the grazing lands, like they do here in Wisconsin. I see cattle all the time, but they're behind a fence. Anyhow, so what there is along the road, built into the road, there's like, I think they called it cattle guard. So it's this metal stuff. So I'm going to set this down for a minute. So what happens is there'll be a fence like way out over there, and there's a fence like way out over there, and the cattle stay within those fences, but they are free to go back and forth this way. But those cattle guards have them going like too far off to either side. I hope that makes sense to you. Anyhow, so that was cool to see. So then we get to Dead Horse Point. I keep stumbling over that name. It was, so, you know, previously we had been seeing like such tall mountains, rock formations as we're bicycling, and now we're back to the canyons, kind of like, you know, so a different looking canyon from when we were riding around in the Colorado National Monument, but oh my God, so incredibly beautiful. I was talking with one man who has backpacked Grand Canyon rim to rim, and he looking out over this canyon, he said, I think this is more beautiful than that. More beautiful than the Grand Canyon. So incredible. I would love to explore that area more. I really would. Um, oh, and then, so way back in time, I had a good friend who, there was a movie out called Thelma and Louise. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that. But so this, my friend and I, her husband actually told her, forbade her to, said she could not watch the movie Thelma and Louise because he was concerned that her and I would do like a Thelma and Louise adventure. And so at Dead Horse Point, there was a plaque there that said, this is where the movie Thelma and Louise was filmed. Do you remember the ending scene where they're in their convertible and whoosh, off they go? That's where it was filmed. So it was really cool to see that and think about that memory. So that got done there at, and so we had lunch there. So Fred had driven up and met us there with our lunches, and then a road back. So 30 miles, mostly downhill, which was what a wonderful experience. So about 60 miles that day, but only having to pedal for 30 of it. So anyhow, I will now post up some pictures from the ride that day on Dead Horse Point, and then I'll be back tomorrow with another adventure from Fred's Moab Hike and Bike 2026. I'm Karen, and I'm growing.